It's your friend. You're my relatives. If I did something, they charge. I was a big timer. So how much it cost you to put a skylight in my office, big red carpet, this, that, and another. Oh, it would be much. And then they give me the bill, and they would do good work. And I mean, I could afford it. I mean, and they was rolling. So I was helping everybody, even when I didn't want it, when it was accidental. The point is instead of cutting you off, when you got an assignment, ain't nobody gonna stop your assignment until you do your assignment, right? That was a precursor to everything. Now look what happened then. I showed you the paperwork with the Oakland police as a stick from arrest. When I got sent for my arrest record, when I was going to court in LA, they said me I had 5 arrests. So 5 arrests. So I ordered them for my bail's money. Because he's down there every time, he bail you out. All your court dates, everything is there. Since we have so many challenges, we take the money we have earned and we go to Algeria with the Black Panther Party. What other semi-gangster type personality would be going to Algeria? He might go to somewhere, Costa Rica, somewhere down in the islands, right? Maybe even buy a little island, or anything like that. He's not going to go to Algeria. I went to Algeria, and I took money. And I shared it with them. Everybody knows that. When I left Algeria, I went to spend time in Black Africa, which I really enjoyed it. Then I went to Europe, Scandinavia for a while, just to visit. And then I went back to South America. Well, that's okay. We just let it blow up and don't make it. Hey, forget it. And when I went to Latin America, my goal was to still help the movement, because in those meetings I had, I believe just what they said, and the thing about Simon Bolivar. What you need for movement is money, first thing. Second thing you need is money, and the third thing you need is money. Because everything else is easy if you got money. Organization, structure. Anyway, so now you remember a person, when Allah got you scheduled or an assignment for you, He's going to take you through His course, right? So that you learn everything that you need to know about what it is you're doing. So everything that we talk about, that it seems to be a deep understanding of world affairs, which it is. A deep understanding of African affairs, Asian affairs. All of that was get around and be around and get to know the people. When you're in exile with the politicians and all the people that got forced out of their country here, and they there with you. And all of you are politically aware. So you're learning firsthand about colonialism and all those isms. Okay, so then, when you go to Latin America, you're going there for the purpose of helping the movement. Okay, but in order to help the movement, you got to get involved in, let's say, cocaine or something. And that cocaine involvement teaches you how that works in detail. So much so that like we can predict and forecast now things that are going on politically. We predicted 40 years ago how the roots was going to change from South America. We predicted it. You know why we predicted the root? Like now, they got the Zetas and all those guys, because the Colombians used to be flying straight in. They had trouble, right? So they started sending it to the Mexicans. And then the Mexicans started bringing it in here. And they got big, super big. That's how, what's the name? So big. Okay. We had a route that we called the Negro route. It was the Negro route. You'd have to take the map out. It'd be just like strategy. You got to map out of the Western Hemisphere. And I remember myself pointing out this sort of this sort of. Guess what it all boiled down to basically? We're going to take our drugs to Mexico. Then from Mexico, we're going to let them cool off a little bit. And then we're going to lob them over the border, whatever. Now, when we get to, the border wasn't like it is now. We're going to send it in when we get ready. It was easy. I remember looking at some papers the other day, old papers. There's a few bus tickets, because I stopped flying all the time. And then the little hotel receipt was for Hermosillo. Hermosillo is the capital of Sonora. Sonora is right below the United States. They got Baja California over there, but right in the center is the Sonora Desert. That's Hermosillo. Hermosillo is so hot, dark as I am. When I would have a t-shirt on, if it had a V, I'd have a big V out. Boy, I'm telling you. I guess I was about as black as a tar baby. Just like that sample, black sample, that jockey. I was that black. That's how black I was from that sun. But then that period ended. And that period ended because the people that was leading the rebellion retired. You know, when I went to take a big thing of money to Algeria. Now remember, I hadn't contacted nobody in a couple of years. Because I'm getting everything ready, and now I got my system down. So I went back, there wasn't nobody there. I couldn't find nobody. Everybody was gone. There was one person still there. So I went on to East Africa, and there they was. At least the head of it was there. So no more reason to sell drugs or cocaine, because the reason I was selling cocaine was to help the movement. The point I'm making is the system, when they try to divert you from going to where your assignment, your work is, they can't divert you. All they can do is give you a shortcut. Like in 66, by 68, I was doing what they was afraid I would do if I was left alone. They gave me a ride, and when I arrived there, I had plenty of money to do it. It just was wonderful. Same thing happens now. You know, when all the stuff that's been happening in Oakland, people wonder what. And have you ever heard of the Rubicon? Rubicon. It's a river in Italy. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, That means that in South Africa, when they cross one river, the Boers, they said we crossed the Rubicon. In other words, we have now went into another, or a final stage of whatever it is. When Julius Caesar, before he became the emperor, he hadn't been to back to Italy for over 8 years. And now he's won all these wars all over everywhere. They got a Senate there, they got all this democratic stuff. And he comes back now, he got in his mind to become the emperor. So, he kept his soldiers on this side, on that side of the river, the Rubicon that runs down through Italy. So then, he sent people, rumor spreaders and everything. Julius Caesar is coming, he's so powerful, nobody can resist his power, his prestige. And when that fed into, when the people were saturated with that, that's when he crossed the Rubicon. Because now he's going to Rome, right? And there's no resistance. That's the concept of when you get to a point and you cross the Rubicon. Because you're prepared. Our signal, we've been going back to Oakland and getting ready, but our signal that it's time for us to cross our Rubicon, believe it or not, was Eid al-Fitr. Out there, and we was out there collecting money. You know why? Because the guy told me, well, first he asked me, where are you? After we talked, and he said, I'll help you on. And I said, man, I got a little message from him the other day. I mean, it's not important. So in our conversation, he said, oh, you and Imam Musa. I said, I'm Imam Musa. He said, no, you're not. Whatever he expected of Imam Musa, I was not big enough for, or, you know, I was not impressive enough for me to be Imam Musa. Because what he's heard, now you got to think about it, what everybody has heard, like in Oakland now, I'm almost a myth. First, I was always a reality this that. But now, with all the stuff that happened there, and I'm not there, the stuff is now mythical. It don't make no difference. The people running around trying to change the reality, they haven't been able to change it. Because the myth is real here. The myth is serious. Whatever it is, don't go to Masjid al-Islam. Whatever the myth is, stay away from Imam Musa. Stay away from Masjid al-Islam. Stay away from As-Sabiqun. Whatever they're telling everybody, it is the exact thing that they need to hear that will pull their heartstring. In other words, they're looking at each person. What would I have to tell that person? They may tell them one thing and don't worry, they tell them something else. Finally, they hit on the combination. But it's just like over 10 years ago when we went up to Philadelphia. You remember the time the brothers went up there and passed out all the stuff? Yeah. And the next, we stayed here, did Juma, the next day we came, it was like, they spent $320,000 to have that program. We didn't spend anything. And everybody was paying attention to us. It was like that. Okay. That type of thing is going on right now. That thing has happened. So we consider going back to Oakland as like crossing our Rubicon. Because now everything is prepared in Oakland for when we get there. Now, not what they got prepared, what we got prepared. We don't care what they got prepared. We're not functioning on what they got prepared. It just may be possible from everything we see, they have prepared. Their behavior has been so bad and incoherent. I'm talking about the FBI, I'm talking about the OPD, I'm talking about NSA. All of their behavior is designed to help us. The arrest at the Masjid, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something. The attacks on the Masjid, that helped us. It don't seem like it. It don't seem like when they bum rushed the Masjid that Friday. A lot of people won't think that was helpful, but it was perfect. It's the exact line from we're the only African-American resistance movement left in the United States. And immigrants have taken over the whole movement in North America. Now here come what I call a Zionist, the Negro Zionist, being followed by tons of Arabs, right? To take over our masjid that they can't take over. They can't take it over. All of that is going to the Universal School of Allah. A lot of times, the universe, the cosmos, that's what white folks call it. It's actually Allah. They can't say God. Well, now, even motivational speakers, when they get older and stuff, they start dripping out about God, you know, because they're human and they're fallible and they're finite. They notice their time is even shorter. So what was all of this about? Right? And all those things that happened to me that I was running my mouth about, who helped me do that? I know that was some things that I did, but how did I put this together? How did I put that together? You see what I mean? So all people begin to know that eventually, except some people are arrogant and not too smart. And they think they're the first order, they're responsible for everything. But those that are semi-consciousness begin to know that the first cause is Allah. Okay. So now, everything that happened in Oakland was for our assignment. In the world that we're moving into, we're going to have to send emissaries, might as well call them missionaries, people that speak doing this, that speak almost every language, and are familiar with every culture. And most of those people are already here because they immigrated from there. So we can send people that will speak fluent Arabic, Urdu, and everything around the world with our message. During this period, and I'm talking about the next 20 years, is a global preparation for our final phase of New Worldism. Now remember, this is our phase, our stage. We're not responsible for the world to come, right? We're only responsible for what we're doing right now, right? That's the beauty about Islam. We're not responsible for things that are beyond our abilities and beyond us. So I was telling the FBI when they was here, I was right in the middle while I was hurting pretty bad, I tell you. But I told them, I said, yeah, I'm gonna be here another 25 years. I said, in 25 years we're gonna put this, we're gonna do this. I was telling them that I am with a human certainty, not anything else. I'm going to be here a minimum of another 25 years, because it's going to take that long to put together the platform. That's good. That's good. I said, yeah. I said, to let them know all this phony leg hurting and side hurting, no. That's going to go away. That's going, and it's going fast. So you can't fool me into thinking. You know, you can't fool me into thinking that, well, you're getting old. Well, you may not make it. I say, I ain't into that. I said, of course we're getting old. But I know something else too. Yeah, I was talking about that today, yesterday. When the mind believes certain things that they can believe, see, but what the mind believes, the body follows. The body follows the mind, or the spirit, right? Or the nafs, you learn to control your nafs, right? That's your mind and spirit disciplining your physical, so you tell your body what to do. I mean, the good people, the strong people. The common people, they don't do that. If it feels good, it's all right. That's what they say. Because that's the animal in them. Yeah. But everything that feels good